Hello, and welcome to Lesson 2 of B.3, the Cancer Unit. I'm Nicole Bettis, an OpenSciEd facilitator and former high school biology teacher. In this video, I will give an overview of Lesson 2 and wrap up with some tips and tricks. Lesson 2 is a key lesson because it's where students figure out what cancer is. Before we dig into Lesson 2, let's briefly recap how we got here. At the end of Lesson 1, we conclude that there are many factors that influence who gets cancer, including where people live, their age, and their height. This motivates us to figure out why they get cancer. But first, we have to understand what cancer even is. So in this lesson, we are wondering, what is cancer? Now let's dig into Lesson 2. Lesson 2 takes 2 class periods. It involves investigating images of non-cancerous and cancerous cells, and then reading about cancer. The 20 minutes of material preparation listed here is to prepare copies of handouts. Students do not need to use their individual devices unless you would like them to investigate digital copies of the cell images or access a digital copy of the reading. Lesson 2 can be broken into 2 sense-making chunks across the 2 days. In the first chunk, we compare images of cancer cells to non-cancer cells. We figure out that each cell type has a similar shape and that the cells seem to be grouped together to make up tissue. But we notice that cancer cells are different shapes and sizes and are more clumped together than the non-cancerous cells. This leaves us wondering how cancer makes people sick. So in the second chunk, we begin by developing individual initial models to explain our current thinking about how cancer makes us sick. We use these models to identify things we can't fully explain yet. Then we read about cancer to help answer our questions. From the reading, we figure out that cancer cells can divide and form tumors, and those tumors can disrupt the normal functions of the body. We use this information to revise our individual initial models and our Lesson 1 class consensus model. While we have a better understanding of what's going on in our bodies when we have cancer, we still don't know how it happens. That will be our focus in Lesson 3. To summarize, on the first day of Lesson 2, students figure out that cells have common characteristics, make up tissues, and that cancer cells look different from non-cancer cells. On the second day, students read about how tissues make up organs and organ systems, and then discover that when cancer cells stick together and form tumors, those tumors can invade tissues and disrupt body systems to make us sick. Now let's take a look at a few key moments in Lesson 2. First, we know that students have a lot of ideas about cancer, but they don't really know what it is going on inside our bodies when we have cancer. So one of the first things that will help them figure this out is comparing images of non-cancer and cancer cells. Some of the images are real cells and tissues viewed under a microscope, while others are illustrations of cells and tissues. Students might not know what they're looking at, especially those with limited background knowledge of cells. They don't need to understand much about these cells and tissues. They just need to be able to identify some patterns that will help them explain the difference between non-cancer and cancer cells. We also want them to start thinking about how cancer makes people sick, so we ask them to develop an initial model to explain their thinking. On day 2 of this lesson, students read about cancer. The reading is brief, with just over 2 pages and a lot of images, and it introduces some important terms. The reading ends with a short paragraph explaining that cancer cells can disrupt the normal functions of the body, which can cause people to feel sick. At the end of this lesson, students complete the progress tracker. The progress tracker handout is found in the Lesson 2 folder and is similar to the progress trackers used in previous units. I've learned that it is so important to give students the time and space to track their progress and understanding throughout a unit. It really supports their coherence overall and helps them develop deeper and richer explanations of the anchoring phenomenon. So I'd highly recommend that you don't skip this part. So here we are at the end of Lesson 2. Students have figured out what cancer is, but they don't know how it happens, which means next we need to investigate how a non-cancer cell becomes cancerous. Before I sign off, I want to leave you with a few tips and tricks for Lesson 2. First, when investigating cells in Part 3, you might consider having students share what they notice and wonder after each image, instead of waiting until the end. This will help them get a better idea of the types of things they could be looking for. Also, if you have some good microscopes and slides to use, you can add them in just before students look at the cell images when they're sharing what they know about cells. Students will likely mention that cells are small and you need a microscope to see them. So you can have students look at different types of cells and tissues under a microscope. This will help them start to recognize patterns in different cells before they look at the images comparing non-cancerous and cancerous cells. If you do add microscopes, I wouldn't spend too much time on it here because the purpose is just for students to know that cells have common characteristics and are part of a hierarchical organization system. Second, plan ahead for Part 10 when you revise the initial class consensus model from Lesson 1. Think about suggestions students might make for revising the model, and maybe even have sticky notes or pre-printed pictures that you can simply add to the model instead of trying to draw or write over the top. Let's talk about vocabulary for a minute. We encounter a lot of words in Lesson 2 that students might want to add to their personal glossaries. We also co-construct the meaning of hierarchical organization. There's only one slide for updating personal glossaries, and it comes at the very beginning of the lesson before students read about the hierarchical organization. So I would recommend moving it later in the lesson or even adding an additional slide after the reading. Finally, for poster management, you'll want to have your initial class consensus model from Lesson 1 available to revise at the end of this lesson. In addition, students will be starting their progress trackers. This is something they will be updating throughout the unit, so you'll want to make sure that students put them in a safe place that they can find quickly and easily. I like to have my students tape their progress trackers into their notebooks on the first page for the unit. In summary, Lesson 2 is all about figuring out what cancer is. In Lesson 3, we will focus on how non-cancer cells become cancer cells. In the Lesson 3 video, I will be talking about the cell game, which is one of the most impactful activities in this unit, so be sure to check it out.